The fluorescent lights hummed their eternal song, a frequency that made Sam's teeth ache. 2:07 a.m. The night stretched ahead like a tunnel with no promise of daylight. Behind the checkout monitor, taped with yellowing Scotch tape, was the card. Sam had found it during their first solo overnight shift, written in tight, cramped handwriting that looked like it had been done in a hurry or in fear. Night protocols for preservation of self-effective hours. 2:05 a.m. Read completely. Follow exactly. Do not deviate. Sam had laughed at first. Some elaborate prank by the previous night cashier probably, but that was before the first customer arrived at 2:23 a.m., wearing a coat from the wrong decade and paying with a coin that felt too heavy and too cold. Now, 3 nights in, Sam no longer laughed. Rule 1. The lighting protocol. Aisle 6 household cleaner's light switch must remain in the off position at all times. Under no circumstances should you read product labels in aisle 6 after 2 m.m. The switch was easy enough to avoid. Sam had taped over it with electrical tape on the first night, after making the mistake of flicking it on during a routine walkthrough. The bottles had changed. Every cleaning product, every detergent, every spray bottle bore the same label in that moment of illumination, for removal of persistent stains human origin. The instructions listed temperatures, dissolution times, recommended disposal methods for dental work, and bone fragments. Sam had vomited in the back room and never touched that switch again. The aisle remained dark now, a throat of shadow between the candy section and the cold medicines. Sometimes Sam heard bottles shifting on their own, glass clinking against glass like quiet laughter. Rule 2. The observation protocol. Every 30 minutes, stand at the front window for exactly 90 seconds. Count aloud. Do not examine your reflection's hands. Do not look at what your reflection is holding. Sam's phone alarm buzzed. 2:37 a.m. They walked to the window, the glass smeared with handprints that hadn't been there during the day shift. The parking lot stretched empty under the sodium lights. 3 cars scattered like dice. 1, 2, 3. Sam counted, keeping their eyes fixed on the horizon line where asphalt met sky. In their peripheral vision, their reflections stood in the glass. But reflections weren't supposed to move independently, weren't supposed to slowly raise their hands to chest level. 27, 28, 29. Don't look at the hands. Don't look at what it's holding. But Sam could see it anyway, couldn't help but see it. Their reflection held something small and dark, turning it over and over between its fingers. Something that looked like a key, or a bone, or both. 88, 89, 90. Sam stepped back. The reflection smiled, just slightly, and lowered its hands. Whatever it had been holding was gone. The door chimed. Rule 3. The currency protocol. If a customer presents a black lead coin for payment, you must accept it. Place immediately into the red velvet pouch, bottom left drawer. Upon acceptance, say exactly, your transaction is recorded and witnessed. The customer wore a dress that might have been fashionable in 1952, or 1893, or never. Her face was pleasant, forgettable, the kind that vanished from memory the moment you looked away. Just these, she said, placing items on the counter. A can of soup, a lottery ticket, a pack of batteries that hadn't been manufactured in 40 years. Sam scanned them automatically. The register beeped, though the numbers it displayed made no sense. $7.49, or $2.16, or infinity. The woman reached into her purse and withdrew a coin. It was black as an exit wound, roughly circular, stamped with a profile that might have been a president or a king, or something that had never been human at all. When she placed it on the counter, it didn't clink, it thudded, impossibly heavy. Sam's hand trembled as they picked it up. Cold radiated from it, not temperature but the absence of heat, the void where warmth should exist. The red velvet pouch waited in the bottom drawer. Sam dropped the coin inside and felt it fall and fall and fall, much farther than the shallow pouch should have allowed. Your transaction is recorded and witnessed, Sam said. The words tasted like metal. The woman smiled. Thank you for your service. She left without her items. The door chimed. Sam looked down at the counter, the soup, the ticket, the batteries, all gone. But the coin remained in the pouch, heavier now. The pouch moved slightly, as if something inside was breathing. Rule 4, the auditory warning. Listen for the freezer knock. 3 slow beats, pause, 2 fast beats.
If heard, you must immediately slam your fist on the counter 3 times and shout "Occupied." Failure to respond within 5 seconds results in displacement. 258 mm. Sam was restocking cigarettes when they heard it. Thud. 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 A pause that stretched like taffy. Thud thud. The freezer section. The industrial units that held the ice cream and frozen pizzas and frost-covered mysteries. Sam dropped the cigarette cartons and ran, sneakers squeaking on the linoleum. The counter was 6 aisles away. 5. 4. Thud. 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 No, it was starting again. The sequence repeating. Sam vaulted over a display of chips, crashed into the counter, brought their fist down 3 times. Wham. 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 Occupied. The word tore from their throat, primal and desperate. Silence. Then from inside the freezer section, a sound like disappointment, like something large shifting its weight, like something deciding to wait. Sam's hand throbbed. Their knuckles were already purpling. 3 nights in. 4 hours per night. How many more knocks would there be? Rule 5, the inventory ritual. 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, Campbell's, 10.5 ounces. Must be visible on the shelf at all times. If sold or missing, immediately replace the empty space with your name tag. Do not put your name tag back on. Do not ask why. 3:31 a.m. Sam did a routine check of aisle 3. Canned goods, neat rows, everything in its place. Except, the soup was gone. The space where it should have been gaped like a missing tooth. Sam's heart hammered. They hadn't sold it. No one had bought soup tonight. The 1950s woman had scanned a can but taken nothing. Unless that was the point. Sam unpinned their name tag with shaking fingers. Sam Torres, happy to help. The plastic was warm from body heat. They placed it face down in the empty slot on the shelf, wedging it between cream of chicken and tomato. The tag fit perfectly, as if the space had been designed for exactly this purpose. When Sam looked back at their uniform, the spot where the name tag had been was darker than the surrounding fabric, a shadow in the shape of their identity. They worked the rest of the hour nameless. Rule 6. The reality check. If the register clock displays impossible time 03:71 is 5:92, etc., reality is fragmenting. You must immediately shout the store is closed 3 times. Do not whisper. Do not hesitate. Volume maintains coherence. 4:17 a.m. Except it wasn't. Sam glanced at the register clock. 0371 mm. The numbers glowed steady. Impossible. Wrong. The fluorescent lights flickered. The music playing overhead warped, stretching into something that sounded like reversed speech, like drowning. Aisle 6's darkness seemed deeper. The freezers hummed a harmony that had no place in this world. Sam filled their lungs. The store is closed. Their voice cracked the air like a whip. The store is closed. Louder. The lights stabilized. The music snapped back to its banal rhythm. The store is closed. The clock blinked. 4:17 a.m. The numbers settled, real again, linear again. Sam tasted copper. Had they bitten their tongue, or was that just the flavor of reality asserting itself? In the window's reflection, their other self washed with something like approval. Rule 7, the final transaction. At 4:59 a.m., the exterior lights will fail. A final customer will enter silently. Present them with the red velvet pouch. They will ask you one question. Answer exactly, "I'm here tomorrow night." Any other response completes your displacement. 4:58 a.m. Sam watched the clock with the intensity of a prisoner watching a timer on a bomb. The pouch sat on the counter, bloated now with coins that shouldn't exist. It moved occasionally, pulsing like a sleeping animal. 4:59 mm. The exterior lights died. Darkness swallowed the parking lot, the world beyond the glass ceasing to exist. The store became an island of fluorescent light in an ocean of nothing. The door chimed. The customer didn't walk so much as materialize, stepping from the shadow between one heartbeat and the next. They wore Sam's face, not similar, not close, exact, every detail, every freckle, every tired line around the eyes. Sam's doppelganger approached the counter and stood waiting. With wooden fingers, Sam lifted the red velvet pouch and held it out. The weight of it had become astronomical. Each coin a collapsed star. The other Sam took it without expression, opened it, peered inside at the impossible depth, nodded once, then looked up, made eye contact, spoke with Sam's voice. "Are you staying?" The question hung in the air between them. Sam thought of the rules, the card with its desperate handwriting, thought of the previous night cashier who had written it, thought of the cashier before that, before that, before that. An unbroken chain of the displaced and the compliant. "I'm here tomorrow night," Sam said. The words felt rehearsed, inherited, ancient. The other Sam smiled with Sam's smile. Good. They turned and walked back to the door, the pouch clutched to their chest, stepped through, vanished. The exterior lights hummed back to life. The parking lot reappeared, exactly as it had been. 5 a.m. Sam's phone alarm chirped. Shift over, epilogue, the price of tomorrow. Sam returned the next night at 1:58 a.m. The manager had called them, asking if they could cover the overnight shift again. Sam had said yes before the question was fully asked. Had to say yes. Couldn't imagine saying anything else. Behind the counter, the rule card waited. Sam pulled it down to review, making sure they remembered every protocol. The handwriting was different. Sam stared at the tight, cramped letters written in a hurry or in fear. Letters that looked exactly like Sam's own handwriting. At the bottom, a new line had appeared. "Thank you for your service. You are now the archivist. Update as needed. The next will come." Sam touched their chest, where the name tag should have been. Found only fabric. Darker than it should be. Shaped like identity, like self. In the window, their reflection smiled and raised its hands. In them, a small red pouch that pulsed like a heart. The door chimed. "Welcome to Stop and Shop," Sam said automatically. "How can I help you tonight?" The customer approached, wearing tomorrow's face and yesterday's clothes, and placed items on the counter. A can of soup, a lottery ticket, batteries from a time that hadn't come yet, and when they paid, Sam already knew what would emerge from their wallet. A coin, black as an exit wound, roughly circular, stamped with a profile that might have been Sam's own. "Your transaction is recorded and witnessed," Sam heard themselves say, and meant it, and would mean it again tomorrow night, and the night after that, forever.